Libra, hi. There are huge changes that are going to happen. Huge. And they're kind of being forced through your behavior, your action, your decision. Something coming to light, an understanding of maybe something that you want to do differently, a feeling or an impulse that you want to do something differently. Now for you, this is happening predominantly in the 6th and 7th house. Those are the impulses to make change, the desire to want to make change, do something different with your health, your body, the way that you cultivate your life, as well as your partnerships, which is a very sensitive house for you because it's the house that you rule, right? Partnerships in general, partnerships in your life, the healthiness of those partnerships, how healthy are the partnerships, sort of the standards, or what you've been allowing, based on what you think is correct and what you think is acceptable. And then you have the 3rd and 4th house, which is where the clusterfuck is what I call it. Excuse my language. The clusterfuck of what's going on right now is happening in your life. And this clusterfuck is happening in the 3rd and 4th house. 3rd house is the moon is clusterfucked, and then the 4th house, the sun is just surrounded by the heavy hitters like Jupiter, Mercury's there, Saturn, Pluto, the sun, all of it is in your 4th house. What is 4th house? 4th house is the family. You're a family, the family that you were raised with. So this is telling me that something in the partnerships of your family, something in the dynamic, it's like now you want to fight against it, you want to change it, you see it, you realize how it's been sabotaging you, cutting you down, cutting you off, or hurting or harming the way that you create partnerships or in partnerships, or the importance you put on partnerships, and how it's been kind of sabotaging your life and putting you into different predicaments or situations that do not serve your highest purpose. Some information, and this is the delivery system here, because you can see a definite tie between Mercury, which is now in Aquarius, and the North Node, which is and will stay in Gemini. There is communication, like a lightning flash communication, that is going to come through to you and make you want to make that change. And where it touches down, that realization, maybe something that you didn't want to face, right? That realization is coming down in your 4th house, because that's where Mercury is right now. It's positioned in your 4th house. So it's like coming either through about family, through family, or about the family or the home life that you were raised in. That communication is coming through overwhelming information that changes everything. That changes everything and makes you essentially want to act, want to respond, want to change, realize that you have to change. Now, where is that change occurring? Where is that motivation occurring? That's coming in your, hold on a second. Sorry. Those huge changes, those sort of, where will the changes occur? Predominantly in your 4th house. And wanting to take action or make it's almost like wanting to make a change in your 7th house energy to impact or affect your 4th house energy, or because of something that you've just realized that happened while you in your 4th house, which is the environment that you were raised on. What cultivated you? 4th house energy is anything that has cultivated you and made you into the person that you are now. Your upbringing, your childhood, your parents, your relationship with them, and those things from that time in your life that you've held on to and maintained, right? Is talking about the 6th house. Like, how have you maintained? How have you held on to? How have you held on to those things that you were raised with that are actually, because Chiron's in your 6th house, actually sabotaging you? Thinking that you were doing something so right and realizing you were doing it so wrong, because all of a sudden there's this different perspective on how you should have been doing things, or how things could have been done, or how they would have been better for you. This is a piece of information that suddenly kind of like broadens and opens you to seeing partnership in a different way, wanting to change it, wanting to change your partnership status. Partnership status for you guys could change dramatically with this energy. In terms of if you've been single for a long time, or in terms of if you've been with somebody for a long time. Major shifts. Now, how this impacts you, because you're not all first house Librans, right? But you'll definitely, because you are Librans, you're at least Sun in Libra. Sun in Libra, this will impact the way that you feel about your purpose on Earth. You know, the way that you go about your focus on Earth. It will impact you. So, what the cards are calling you to do, or really showing that there's been issues in something that has rooted you, losses, suffering, sadness, that has rooted inside of who you are and become an integral part of who you are. Those things, those losses or grievances that have become an integral part of who you are what's actually creating, or how they have settled in your soul as boundaries to your fortune, as impediments to your fortune is more like it. How they themselves could be the impediments to your abundance or your good luck, or a sense of feeling like you've been stuck in an unlucky predicament for quite some time and not being happy about it. But you'll start to see that it's shifting your desires. So if you have been in a situation that has been prolonged misery, you'll start to see that your desires, it's actually starting to work upon your desires, and they're shifting, they're changing. What you desire, what you want, what you, I guess, are looking for or want out of life is starting to shift and change. Or you're realizing that at this point there could be a lucky breakthrough that's happening, that's coming through when you found out this information and you release those burdens, you release that thought process, that thing that you were doing wrong. When you stop it, once you realize it and you stop it, it's starting to shift and change what has been causing barriers between you and function, like you and fortune. Because there has been some barriers. Even if you're wealthy as fuck, there's been some barriers in constant, repetitive, kind of like little bits of bad luck that keep springing up. But ultimately, it's this desire shift. It's this change in what you want moving forward that is actually going to be changing the game for you. It's interesting, this energy for you. Interesting, and by interesting, I mean confusing. So I would not be surprised if you are very confused, but I cannot overlook that swans come out. And to me, this is 100% partnership. I mean, you are the swan of the zodiac. Libra and swan is like that. It's almost like this long-term partnership, dedicated, devoted, but also very tied up in the beauty of it all. And how beautiful, and it basically thinking partnership is the most beautiful thing in the world. But you have to find the right partner, finding your soulmate, finding the right partner, recognizing how important it is to not select the wrong partner, and realizing that in many ways maybe you have selected the wrong partner, or that you and this partner of yours, there just had to be a growing up and a maturing period, because like the swan, the ugly is only in the beginning. There's a transformation here in your own personal beauty. Making a change. Perhaps even a change to how you behave every single day. Starting to put your best foot forward. This is that energy of deciding to put your best energy forward, or recognizing and realizing suddenly what people are seeing that you didn't see before, and letting it change you instead of insisting on fighting them, realizing, oh my God, they were right, wanting to put a better, it's almost like changing your image. wanting to change, desiring to change your image. And that could very well be through practice, through humbling yourself, humiliating yourself, feeling like I have to practice more, I have to change things, I have to shift my focus into, I want to learn, I want to be focused on something that I love doing, that I love the hard work of. Not just all of a sudden, like, not just like, almost like a recognition, let me say this, that having to work hard on something does not diminish your ultimate value or how you should appear in public. Or almost like chipping away at the ugly parts and finally finding the beauty underneath. Being able to refine your own personal presentation. So not discovering or hating yourself, but refinement. Refining who you are. Have faith in your dreams has come up. So there is this sense of not giving up hope, pursuing it, and understanding that you weren't wrong to want or desire these things. It could just very well have been how you were going about getting them, or what you were settling for that was incorrect. So it's not that you shouldn't have wanted a lifelong love or a lifelong companionship, but how were you going out and getting it? How were you doing it with the right person? There's a lot of energy here about a shift or a change in desire. Because it's almost like you're recognizing that what you've always wanted and what you've always desired is causing the impediments in your fortune. Or the sense of being stuck with bad luck is that you are literally stuck with bad luck. You are literally stuck with somebody who is pessimistic. Earth energy, earth sign maybe. Grounding is getting back to your true sense of self, getting back to literally touching the earth. It's saying it's time for you to release negative energy on multiple occasions, because that's what grounding is. It's releasing negative energy or energy that's unhealthy, unbalanced energy, releasing it back to the earth. That's what it's literally saying to do. Release this toxicity back. Release it. Let it go by saying goodbye to somebody that doesn't belong in your life anymore. Or release the toxicity of having to let somebody go because there has been toxicity that you have been stuck with for a long period of time. Either you're stuck with somebody that you haven't been able to release and now is the time to do it, or there's just this sense of having to have released somebody, a loss of somebody, not being able to let that go. But this is the realization and recognition that now it's time to let it go. It doesn't serve you anymore. This is being able to, this is releasing toxic energy, getting back to earth, actually planting your feet in the earth is what grounding is. Planting your earth, having flesh to earth connection to help it drain any kind of toxicity that's in you now. And then a sense of being able to say goodbye to those people in your life that are like you've grown out of. This is telling me that you've grown up and you've grown out of certain ways of being. Even things that you desired, things that you wanted, things that you worked on, things that you used to your advantage in the past. This is a sense of realizing you didn't recognize something that, like, you didn't recognize it. You didn't recognize this value. You didn't recognize the value in this thing, but now you do. This is about being your own power, having your own strength to change your life around, to transform your life. Maybe by listening to people or partnering with people that you would have never listened to before or in the past. But all of a sudden now you're starting to see that they may know something or understand something or realize something that you haven't realized before. So ultimately, Libra, a big way that this transformation is happening is how it makes you listen. and how it makes you understand and comprehend something that you thought you had in the bag, that you'd been listening to in one way for the longest time, and now all of a sudden it exposes itself as something different, and you're ready to move on and mature on and not need this as much. Swan energy. You're better later on. You're better after having grown up. This is a maturation. Let me clarify with your animal totem energies. There's always an extended. The link is right below this video. You can see the blue highlighted blue highlighted link. That will take you to the extended, in which I will go deep dive with tarot and let you know specifically how this is hitting your life, like the pressure points. There's a romance specific reading over there included in that video as well. So that link is below. But let's get into the actual animal totem. Like, what are the animal spirit guides going to be saying to you right now? As how things are going now. Okay. Hold on. So this is really interesting, what I'm looking at. Overcome any obstacle. This is feeling stuck. A future of feeling stuck, of not doing what Spirit's asked you to do and not knowing your worth. So in other words, this could be what you're looking at, and this could be what the universe is coming in and trying to help you avoid, is being within the wrong partnership, being stuck with the wrong person, misinterpreting what Spirit has been trying to tell you, because it's constantly asking you to degrade yourself or accept less than what you're worth, or basically deciding that the right way to go has been to diminish yourself, when in reality that is not what Spirit asked for. It's what's making you stuck. And that is sort of like seconded by this being stuck in a loss, a spiritual loss, maybe even a death, being stuck, having your life having been diminished by somebody that you lost in the past, and carrying that with you for such a long period of time, as if you have to do everything to make life different, so that the loss won't be experienced by other people, or that you won't repeat the loss in your own life. But in some ways you've been degrading your life by basing it off of this loss instead of life itself. Interesting. The other expose is in the past. So this is not taking things seriously, traveling a lot, jumping from one thing to another, throwing yourself right into the fire, right into the mix. This is being malleable. It could also be being malleable, dexterous, be at home. In other words, your home was constantly shifting. Where you were was constantly shifting. Maybe moving around a lot, or not being home a lot, or deciding to not be home a lot. In some ways, trying to avoid being home a lot. In order to shine, in order for your star to grow, in order to be the center of attention. So it's like taking energy off of your home life in order to be the center of attention. This is an energy maybe that you were dealing with, or something was happening to you, somebody was doing this to you, or this is what you experienced in your past. Jumping around a lot, chasing celebrity, chasing stardom or attention, or making a lot of money, chasing that energy, as opposed to maybe even finding your home in public recognition. I don't know why this matters. Why does this matter? It has directly to do with who you got stuck with in your life. Has directly to do with this negative pattern or relationship that you got stuck with. Now we're looking at bear. So this is somebody who's very abrasive, aggressive, domineering, dominant. This could also be Virgo energy, but this is a sense of somebody who sort of pushes you around. A rebirth is assured. It could be them that's changing, a shift in authority, in who you listen to and who you trust. Or a sense in who you respect, suddenly changing. Or not just suddenly, but now it's all of a sudden it's come to the surface. How you see this person is not as, it's just not as, it's just not the same as it used to be. It's like now you question their authority. You don't see them in the same light. Trust the great mystery, diving into this newness, this freshness, what is fresh, diving into what is fresh and what is new. But this also could tell me that you are in very deep with this situation. It's like awakening to the realization of what this is for you. Lay a solid foundation. This is Virgo energy. It's almost like you're starting to realize, because remember I told you 6th house energy, 6th house is where Chiron is for you. Slow and steady wins the race. This is Cancerian energy, step by step, taking your home with you. I'd be really interested to see what Tarot has to say here, because this is very ambiguous. This could go a lot of ways for a lot of you. That's why I'm saying it. Because there does seem to be some diminished sense of self here. A diminished sense of self. Maybe something that you settled for, right? Or because you had a diminished sense of self because of what you experienced when you were young. You dove into a relationship with a very controlling, domineering person, or somebody that could cultivate. And it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, but it's definitely partnership that grabbed at your heart. Had a lot to do with carrying you away from your 5th house, because your 5th house is empty right now. Your sole purpose. You're starting to recognize and realize that this goes back a long time. This goes back really far. Just how far and how long you've been believing this or accepting this as true or dealing with this might actually frighten you a little bit. But there's a major truth and a major reveal that's coming out. This is a key. I want to know what this fucking means. Slow and steady wins the race. You have worked. It's almost like maybe you finally made a breakthrough. Or you have finally broken through and finally realize and see that you have made a difference somehow. What is this slow and steady wins the race? Please clarify. Clarify. Well, first things, no, that's not first things first. This came out. Tend to the small things. This is disease. Figuring out where the disease is and how long it's been growing. And how it's almost like somebody's been feeding you negative input into your ear for a very long time. They've been whispering it to you. It's like it's moral depravity or moral discrepancy. A sense of, oh, this is what's valuable about you, but that's not what's true. And it's been happening for a very long time. You know what image I just saw in my head, Libra? Wormtongue. If you've ever watched Lord of the Rings, it's like how he was poisoning the King of Rohan's mind by saying all these horrible things over and over again. Like if you say them long enough, people start to believe you, but it still doesn't make it the truth. Just because people, in other words, this is the real truth coming out, not what you've convinced people to believe or what you've been convinced to believe. This is the real truth. Finally being able to see the real truth, because this fell on top of all the other backwards things, these things that you believe that aren't true. Giraffe Spirit, see the big picture. You've been looking only right in front of you. It's like somebody has blocked your view for a very long time, or your view has been blocked for a very long time. You've only been looking at the obvious and what's right in front of you, instead of opening up your perspective and seeing, wow, this isn't how life is. This is something that's going to push through those walls. Make you realize that your perspective has been very myopic, very, only seeing things that are right in front of you. That's what myopia is. It's nearsightedness. Let's go to the angel messages. Like I said, the link to the tarot is below, and I will get into the specifics about what exactly this is or who this is. And I think for some of you it is a who. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. You can click subscribe below and ring that bell, because I upload between 12 and 14 videos every single week. So there's content on here for for everyone, especially your sun, your moon, and your rising sign. Libra specific content comes out every single Tuesday with Scorpio and Sagittarius. Also, like I said, there's always an extended, but you can subscribe directly over there too, over on Vimeo, where I also post the weekly astrological forecast for free. So if you're subscribed, you'll get the notification as soon as I upload that. I also upload that to my Instagram channel. Please join me on Instagram, Born_without_boundaries, where you'll actually get to interact live with me too. I go on daily. I do daily general readings over there. When I'm not ill, I'm still recovering right now, so there's no personal readings or live readings right now. I'm just focusing on the zodiac specific readings and the astrology. But anyway, let's see what your angel messages say. Libra. Okay, so this is truth. And like I said, truth had a big thing to do with, it has a big thing to do with this week, this energy right now. The best way through the current situation is to just speak your truth. Contrary to what you may think, no one will be hurt if you express exactly how you feel. I just heard this. It's almost like when you speak your truth, you're going to realize it's not the truth. But it's only in speaking it that people are going to realize, oh my God, you think that's the way that it is? That's not how it is at all. How could you believe that? But you've believed this for so long that you think it's the truth. Heart song. What is your heart saying? Stop and listen. Your truth lies within the empty spaces between your thoughts. Your truth shines through from within your soul. Your truth is that which is eternal and unchanging. Your truth is love. So this is the real truth. That shining out. Wisdom. Everything has a place and purpose. To be wise is to have great love, tolerance, and compassion for all things. This is wisdom. This is all of a sudden recognizing and realizing, or being able to accept, because you're at a point in your life when you can actually absorb this now and not fight it and not struggle with it. Think global. You are being encouraged to spread your wings. Think outside the square. You are a citizen of the world. Expand your vision. Imagine the world within your heart. Embrace it. Surround it with love. Let it be, and so it will be. This is healing. 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 That's crazy how I just pulled up Healing Angel. 2929. There's divine counterparts going on here. At this very moment, you are being bathed in gold, pink, and deep green light. Accept this healing. We, your angels, surround you with wings of love. You are eternally free, eternally fresh, and eternally abundant. This is going to wipe away a lot of shit that you've thought, oh, this is pate. No, it's poo-poo. Peace. No matter where you are or what you're doing, inner peace is always possible. All it takes is a subtle shift in awareness. Think love and peace will follow. Essentially, you've been believing something that has impeded your sense of self, your luck, and your overall, your value and your ability to connect. You have been repeating this over and over again. You have been saying it and you've been making it your truth when it's actually not the truth, but it's been based on a lie that was told a long freaking time ago. Let's dig deep into this scenario, and I'll see you guys over in the extended.